5 perfumes older women wear that make older men turn their heads instantly. Ladies, let me share something fascinating that I've discovered through countless conversations with mature men and women about attraction after 60. While we often focus on personality, conversation, and emotional connection, and these are absolutely the foundation of lasting relationships, there's something undeniably powerful about the subtle art of fragrance that can create an immediate, magnetic pull between two people. Welcome back to 60 Wise Living Advice. Here's what mature men have told me. Certain scents on a confident woman over 60 create an almost irresistible attraction that goes beyond the physical. These aren't the sweet, youthful fragrances of our younger years, but sophisticated, complex scents that speak to the depth, wisdom, and sensuality that come with life experience. Today, I'm revealing the 5 specific perfumes that mature men consistently mention as absolutely captivating on older women. Fragrances that create instant attraction and leave lasting impressions that keep you on his mind long after you've left the room. If you're ready to discover the scents that can enhance your natural magnetism and want to understand how fragrance can be a powerful tool in mature attraction, hit that subscribe button now. We're building a community of wise women who understand that confidence, wisdom, and the right fragrance create an irresistible combination.
Perfume number 1. Chanel number 5, the timeless classic that never fails. There's something profoundly moving about the first time you spray Chanel number 5 on your skin and realize you're not trying to smell like someone else anymore. You're embracing the scent of a woman who has earned every note of complexity, every layer of depth that this legendary fragrance represents. This isn't just perfume, it's a declaration. When you choose Chanel number 5, you're saying something beautiful about who you've become. A woman who no longer needs to follow trends because she's learned to trust her own impeccable taste. A woman who understands that true elegance isn't about age, it's about authenticity, confidence, and the quiet power that comes from knowing exactly who you are. There's a reason this fragrance has been captivating hearts for over a century, and it becomes even more magical on mature women who finally understand what real sophistication means. Those aldehydes that create that clean, almost powdery opening, they speak to the refinement you've developed through decades of learning what quality really feels like. The heart of jasmine and rose isn't trying to compete with youthful beauty. It's celebrating the deeper, richer femininity that comes with having lived, loved, and survived. But it's in those base notes of sandalwood and vanilla where the real magic happens for us. There's a warmth there, a sensuality that doesn't scream for attention because it doesn't need to. It whispers of a woman who has learned that true allure comes not from desperation, but from the quiet confidence of knowing your own worth. Dorothy, 68, discovered this truth in the most beautiful way. After my divorce at 65, I felt invisible, like I had somehow disappeared into the background of life. My daughter suggested I try something that made me feel special again. So I walked into the department store and asked for Chanel number 5, something I'd always considered too expensive, too fancy for my everyday life. Her voice grows soft with the memory. The first time I wore it to my book club, everything changed. Not just how others responded to me, but how I felt about myself. I walked differently, spoke with more confidence, took up space in conversations instead of apologizing for my opinions. Men would literally pause mid-conversation when I walked by, not because I looked different, but because I carried myself like someone who mattered. Dorothy's eyes light up when she talks about Robert. He told me months later that the first time he caught my scent at that gallery opening, he immediately thought, now that's a woman who knows exactly who she is and isn't apologizing for it. He said it wasn't just the perfume, it was how I wore it, like it belonged on me, like I belonged in spaces where beautiful things are appreciated. What makes this fragrance so irresistible to mature men isn't just its legendary reputation, it's what it represents about the woman wearing it. This isn't someone trying to smell like a teenager or following whatever fragrance the young actresses are promoting. This is a woman who has learned to appreciate true craftsmanship, lasting quality, timeless elegance over temporary trends. When you wear Chanel No. 5, you're not just wearing perfume. You're wearing a century of women who understood that real beauty deepens with age, that confidence becomes more attractive than youth ever was, that sophistication is something you earn through living fully and authentically. The key with Chanel No. 5 is understanding its power and respecting it. This isn't a perfume you need to bathe in. Its complexity means a light application creates that perfect, intoxicating trail that draws people closer rather than overwhelming them. A gentle spray on your pulse points becomes your signature, your calling card, your quiet announcement that someone special has entered the room. Mature men consistently mention this scent because it speaks their language, the language of quality over quantity, substance over flash, timeless appeal over temporary attraction. It tells them they're in the presence of a woman who has learned what really matters, who doesn't need to try so hard because she's become exactly who she was meant to be. When you wear Chanel No. 5, you're not competing with anyone else's youth or beauty. You're celebrating your own unique journey to becoming a woman worth knowing, worth loving, worth stopping for when you walk into the room.
Perfume No. 2, Tom Ford Black Orchid, mysterious and intoxicating. There comes a moment in every woman's journey when she stops apologizing for taking up space and starts celebrating the mysterious, complex creature she's become. Tom Ford Black Orchid is the fragrance for that moment. For when you're ready to embrace not just your femininity, but your power, your depth, your absolutely irresistible complexity that can only come from having lived fully and fearlessly. This isn't a perfume for wallflowers or women who want to play it safe. This is pure, sophisticated seduction in a bottle. The kind of scent that whispers secrets and makes people lean in closer, desperate to discover more about the fascinating woman wearing it. When you choose Black Orchid, you're choosing to be unforgettable. Those opening notes of black truffle, ylang ylang, and bergamot don't just announce your arrival, they command attention in the most elegant way possible. There's something almost mystical about how this fragrance opens, like you are revealing just the first layer of who you really are. It's exotic without being overwhelming, sophisticated without being pretentious, mysterious without being unapproachable. But it's when the heart notes of Black Orchid, chocolate, and spices begin to unfold that something magical happens. This isn't the sweet, innocent florals of youth. This is the rich, complex beauty of a woman who has learned to appreciate life's deeper pleasures. There's sensuality here that doesn't need to announce itself loudly because it's confident in its own power. Patricia, 65, discovered this transformation at a time when she needed it most. I'd been feeling invisible for months after my husband's retirement. Suddenly, all the social events were about golf and grandchildren, and I felt like I'd disappeared into the background of everyone else's stories. My daughter suggested I treat myself to something special, something that would make me feel like myself again. She continues, her voice growing stronger. I walked into Nordstrom feeling like just another invisible older woman, but when the saleswoman sprayed Black Orchid on my wrist, something shifted inside me. It was like I remembered who I was beneath all the roles I'd been playing: mother, wife, grandmother. I was still Patricia, the woman who used to turn heads, who had opinions and dreams and desires that had nothing to do with anyone else's needs. The real transformation came that evening. I wore it to our community center's wine tasting event, the same kind of event where I usually stood in corners making small talk about the weather. But that night, men were finding excuses to talk to me all evening. Not just polite conversation, but genuine interest. One distinguished gentleman, Charles, told me later, "I don't know what you were wearing, but it was absolutely intoxicating. You seemed so confident, so mysterious, so present." Patricia's eyes sparkle as she remembers. It wasn't just the fragrance, it was how wearing it made me feel about myself. I walked taller, spoke with more conviction, allowed myself to take up space in conversations instead of just listening politely. The perfume reminded me that I'm not just someone's wife or mother. I'm a woman with depth, mystery, and allure that has only grown richer with age. What makes Black Orchid so perfectly suited for mature women is its refusal to be simple or obvious. Like us, it's complex, evolving, revealing different facets throughout the day. Those base notes of patchouli, sandalwood, and vanilla create a warm, lingering trail that tells a story, not of someone trying to recapture lost youth, but of someone celebrating the sophisticated sensuality that can only come from having truly lived. This fragrance understands that our kind of allure isn't about perfect skin or perfect bodies. It's about the magnetic pull of a woman who knows her own mind, who has stories to tell, who has learned to appreciate the darker, richer pleasures that life offers to those wise enough to recognize them. Black Orchid is perfect for those moments when you want to remind the world and yourself that maturity doesn't mean invisibility. It's for romantic dinners where you want to create an air of intrigue, for special events where you're ready to be the most fascinating woman in the room, for any time you want to embrace the mysterious, powerful, absolutely captivating woman you've become. The key to wearing Black Orchid is confidence, not the desperate confidence of someone trying to prove something, but the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who knows exactly what she brings to any room she enters. This isn't a fragrance for blending into the background. It's for the woman who's ready to be noticed, appreciated, and remembered long after she's left the room. When you wear Black Orchid, you're not competing with anyone else's youth or simplicity. You're celebrating your own rich complexity, your own mysterious depths, your own absolutely intoxicating presence that can only come from being beautifully, authentically, powerfully yourself.
Perfume number 3, Estée Lauder Private Collection, elegant and refined. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is one of quiet elegance, the kind that doesn't need to shout to be heard, doesn't need drama to be noticed, doesn't need youth to be absolutely captivating. Estée Lauder Private Collection is the fragrance for women who have learned that true sophistication whispers rather than screams, and that the most memorable presence is often the most gracefully understated. This is the scent of a woman who has discovered that elegance isn't about perfection, it's about that effortless grace that comes from being completely comfortable in your own skin. When you wear Private Collection, you're not trying to be anyone else. You're simply being the most polished, confident version of yourself. The fragrance opens with those beautiful white florals, jasmine and tuberose that speak to classic femininity without trying to compete with springtime youth. These aren't the overwhelming florals of someone desperate to be noticed. They're the refined florals of someone worth noticing.
As it settles into woody notes and warm spices, it tells the story of complexity earned through experience, depth gained through living fully. Linda, 66, discovered in Private Collection what so many of us are searching for, a signature that feels authentically ours. I'd tried dozens of fragrances over the years, always feeling like I was wearing someone else's personality. But the moment I tried Private Collection, I felt like I'd come home to myself. It wasn't trying to make me smell like a teenager or a movie star. It was enhancing exactly who I already was. She smiles as she continues. David always tells me I smell like expensive elegance. Not flashy or trying too hard expensive, but the kind of quiet luxury that comes from knowing quality when you see it. I've noticed that people seem naturally drawn to conversation when I'm wearing it, like it creates this invisible invitation to come closer. What makes Private Collection so perfect for mature women is its understanding that we don't need to announce ourselves loudly to make an impact. The base of amber and musk creates this beautiful, lingering warmth that suggests a woman who has learned to appreciate life's subtler pleasures. A good book, a meaningful conversation, the comfort of being genuinely yourself. Mature men consistently mention loving this kind of understated luxury because it speaks to everything they find attractive about confident older women: refinement without pretension, elegance without effort, sophistication that comes from within rather than trying to impress. This is your perfect everyday elegance, beautiful for lunch with friends, confident for business meetings, appropriate for any situation where you want to be approachable yet memorable. It adapts beautifully to every season and occasion while maintaining that graceful character that says, here is a woman who knows her worth and doesn't need to prove it to anyone. Are you starting to see how these sophisticated scents differ from younger fragrances? Share in the comments which fragrance type appeals most to your personality. Your preferences help other women in our community discover their perfect signature scent.
Perfume number 4, Yves Saint Laurent Opium. Bold and unforgettable. Ladies, this is the fragrance for a woman who's not afraid to make a statement. YSL Opium is bold, spicy, and absolutely magnetic. The kind of scent that creates instant attraction and leaves an unforgettable impression on everyone you encounter. The opening blast of spices like coriander and cloves immediately commands attention, while the heart of carnation and jasmine adds feminine depth. The base of amber, sandalwood, and vanilla creates a warm, sensual dry down that lingers beautifully on the skin. Margaret, 69, embraced its power. I was hesitant about Opium because it seemed so bold, but when I finally tried it, I felt like I was channeling my most confident self. Men notice immediately. Thomas said it made him think of a woman who was dangerously attractive and completely comfortable with her own power. This fragrance works exceptionally well on mature women because it requires confidence to wear successfully. It's not for someone who wants to fade into the background. It's for a woman who's ready to own her space and make her presence felt. What makes Opium so attractive to mature men is its complexity and boldness. It suggests a woman who's lived fully, who's not afraid of her own sensuality, and who has the confidence to wear something distinctive and powerful. This is perfect for evening events, romantic dinners, special occasions, or any time you want to create maximum impact. It's the kind of fragrance that makes people remember you long after you've left the room. The key with Opium is moderation. It's powerful, so a little goes a long way. Applied correctly, it creates that perfect aura of mysterious attraction.
Perfume number 5. Hermès 24 Faubourg. Sophisticated and luminous. This final fragrance represents the perfect balance of warmth and brightness.
Exactly what makes mature women so attractive. Hermès 24 Faubourg is sophisticated, luminous, and creates an aura of refined elegance that mature men find absolutely irresistible. The fragrance opens with bright white florals like gardenia and jasmine, develops into a heart of iris and rose, and settles into a warm base of sandalwood, vanilla, and amber. It's like wearing liquid sunshine, warm, inviting, and completely captivating. Helen, 64, discovered its magic. 24 Faubourg makes me feel like the most elegant version of myself. Michael always says I smell like expensive flowers and warm sunshine, and I've noticed that people seem more drawn to spend time with me when I'm wearing it. It creates this beautiful, welcoming aura. What mature men consistently mention about this fragrance is how it makes them want to be close to the woman wearing it. It's not aggressive or demanding, it's inviting and warm, suggesting a woman who's confident enough to be approachable while maintaining her sophisticated appeal. This is the perfect fragrance for daytime social events, lunch dates, family gatherings, or any occasion where you want to be memorable but approachable. It's sophisticated enough to command respect while being warm enough to invite connection. The beauty of 24 Faubourg is how it enhances your natural warmth and elegance without overwhelming your personality. It becomes part of your signature presence rather than competing with it. Which of these fragrances sounds most aligned with your personality and lifestyle? Share your thoughts below. Your insights help other women find their perfect signature scent.
Now, here's what you need to understand about fragrance and attraction after 60. These scents work not because they're magical love potions, but because they enhance and complement the natural confidence, sophistication, and sensuality that mature women possess. When you wear a fragrance that makes you feel confident and attractive, that confidence becomes part of your presence. You carry yourself differently, you interact with more assurance, and that inner confidence is what truly creates attraction. These 5 fragrances, Chanel No. 5, Ford Black Orchid, Estée Lauder Private Collection, YSL Opium, and Hermès 24 Faubourg, work so well because they're complex, sophisticated, and perfectly suited to women who have the life experience and confidence to wear them with authority. The key to fragrance success is finding the scent that makes you feel like the most attractive, confident version of yourself. When you feel beautiful and sophisticated, that energy is magnetic and irresistible to the right people. Remember, fragrance should enhance your natural appeal, not mask it. The goal is to create a subtle, beautiful trail that draws people in and makes them want to stay close to you. Ladies, I want you to understand something important. These fragrances are tools to enhance the natural magnetism you already possess. Your confidence, wisdom, life experience, and authentic self are what truly create lasting attraction. The right perfume simply adds another layer of allure to your already compelling presence. Each of these 5 fragrances, the timeless elegance of Chanel No. 5, the mysterious seduction of Ford Black Orchid, the refined grace of Estée Lauder Private Collection, the bold confidence of YSL Opium, and the luminous sophistication of Hermès 24 Faubourg, represents a different aspect of mature feminine appeal. The most important thing is choosing a fragrance that makes you feel beautiful, confident, and authentically yourself. When you wear a scent that resonates with your personality and makes you feel attractive, that inner confidence becomes irresistible to others. Don't underestimate the power of feeling beautiful and smelling amazing. At our age, we understand that attraction is about the complete package: confidence, wisdom, warmth, and yes, that perfect fragrance that becomes part of your unforgettable signature.
The right scent won't just make heads turn. It will make the right person want to stay and discover the fascinating woman behind the beautiful fragrance. As Coco Chanel reminded us, a woman who doesn't wear perfume has no future. I'd add that a woman who wears the right perfume with confidence can create whatever future she desires. If this message helped you understand how fragrance can enhance your natural magnetism and gave you ideas for your perfect signature scent, please subscribe to our channel and share this with other wise women who deserve to feel absolutely irresistible. Remember, you're not just getting older, you're getting more sophisticated, more confident, and more attractive in ways that the right fragrance can beautifully enhance. I'll see you in our next video, where we'll continue exploring all the wonderful ways mature women can feel and look absolutely stunning. Until then, remember, the right fragrance is the perfect finishing touch to the confidence and wisdom that make you truly irresistible.